his own display team. They dropped into Southampton Airport for a practice session, and Graham Bowd was there.
Gary Numan, figurehead of new wave music in the 70s, now a rock millionaire, still touring and still making records. Unlike many of his peers, Numan has lasted the course, and that has surprised some of his critics, not so much because of his music, but because of what he does in his spare time. Numan's flying exploits hit the headlines 5 years ago when his plane crashed in a field near Southampton. The national press seized its chance to shoot down another rich young pop star, portraying him as a kamikaze pilot with more money than sense. In fact, the crash was caused by a mechanical fault, and Gary was flying as a passenger. Reputations die hard, but in the close-knit flying world, no one ever doubted Numan's ability as a pilot. Now he's flying for one of the country's top airshow teams in a vintage American Harvard. Wherever they go, his fans turn out to see him, and that painful crash is now a thing of the past.
What they actually said was so wrong, and I've had to live with the jokes and everything about it ever since, no matter what else I've achieved with it. That did annoy me very much. You know, I was just sitting in it, and it stopped, and we landed in the field. The next thing I know, I was flying it, and we've landed on the motorway, and I've never been able to live it down.
Have you found it difficult to get other pilots to take you seriously? I mean, most people who fly airplanes don't come from rock groups.
No, I'm the only one in the world that does display flying, ever. I don't know. I was aware when I first got into it, display flying, that there was a certain amount of, not resentment, nothing like that everyone was very friendly, but a tremendous amount of caution, which is understandable considering what they'd read about me beforehand and the background that I come from, because I'm supposed to be drunk and drug crazed and all sorts of other things that we're supposed to be. And so I can understand it, but they were helpful and good to me, although they were a little bit cautious to start with.
How do you manage to get the time to do this? Your working schedules are quite exacting at the moment.
Yes. Yeah, I did a single yesterday and another one tomorrow. It is a little difficult, especially this year, because I'm touring this year, and there's about 3 or 4 displays on when a tour is on, so I've had to try and make the gigs near to where the air shows are so I can get to them in time. And I've had to ask to be one of the first on at the display so I can land and get to the gig to go on and do this show.
Before their practice, the team gets a careful briefing from leader Anthony Hutton. How do they feel about having a rock star in their midst?
Well, Gary's been flying for many years. He's a very respected air display pilot now, and quite frankly, we're lucky to have him. He's got a great expertise in aerobatics, a tremendous enthusiasm for the aeroplane itself, and he's a great team member.
Then it was time to take to the skies over Hampshire. For Gary Numan, pop star pilot, it's chocks away. Whatever his fortunes in the fickle music business, he says his flying days are definitely here to stay.
Yeah, well, I couldn't be singing when I was 50, could I? Really, it's sort of not on. But there's no reason I couldn't be flying until I was 60 or 65. So I would say yes. It's difficult to put it over properly because I don't love the flying more than the music, but I would hate to give up either one, and I wouldn't want to give up the flying for the music and vice versa, really. But I do think, sort of being realistic about it, that the flying has to last longer than music because there are only 60-year-old pop stars in the world. I hope there aren't ever will be, actually. It's not a very nice thought.
I could stand it for days, or I could stand it for hours. I could stand it for a lifetime.